Ah, what's up, y'all? This is my first ever live college football recap show. So it might not look great, but here we go. We're going to talk about some all the games that happened briefly, and then I'm going to go into depth about some of the more, in my opinion, the more important games. First off, Virginia played Louisville this past Thursday, and this game was pretty good, actually. I thought Louisville was going to steamroll these guys. Nope, they let Virginia hang around and almost win the game. But a big win for Louisville. Louisville's probably going to be in the top 10, or they will be now because Penn State and Ole Miss lost. So good job for them. Texas Tech beat Kansas 16-13. That surprised me. I actually had Kansas winning, even though I never talked about it on my channel. But hey, low scoring. Texas Tech got a W. This game I want to talk about a little bit more. Alabama blew out Kentucky 49-21. Now I know they struggled in the third quarter. It was 28-14 at one point. Kentucky just scored, but I think Alabama is that team that can beat Georgia. What's up, man? How you doing? But I really do think that I'm gonna do some of those too. But I really do think Alabama is that team that's gonna get Georgia. Georgia, they say, oh, Georgia put up half 100 on Ole Miss. That's true. Ole Miss has no defense. Come on. I'm not surprised about how Georgia hung up all that stuff on Ole Miss like last night, like they did. Popcorn, but not surprised at all. I think Bama has the defense to keep them in check and the offense that keeps growing every week to put on the numbers against someone like Georgia. I really do. Now, I'm gonna talk about them too in a second. I want to talk about Michigan and Penn State. I know Michigan has had the cheating allegation. I know, but here's the thing. I mean, to still win a game at Penn State like that without the head coach, that's awesome. And the way they won it too, it was very one-sided. I know Penn State's defense is legit, but the fact that they did that to Penn State, they ran for 220 something yards on Penn State in their own house, bullied them for pretty much. And you know what? J.J. McCarthy didn't even drop back to throw a pass in the second half. Did you know that? He only had thrown the ball 8 times the whole game. So it's not like he was trying to throw the ball and it was just incompletion after incompletion after incompletion. So, I mean, yeah, I agree, especially in Georgia and Florida areas and Texas. They love their football too. I agree. The South is a really good place for football. Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Louisiana loves their football. But yeah, I completely agree with you on that. What else? Liberty is 10-0. Hot. That's awesome, man. Hot. Dang. I don't want to cuss on my channel. I don't cuss here. They beat Old Dominion 38-10, 10-0. They're doing really good. I'm really am happy for Liberty. I don't really know much about Liberty. I just know that they keep winning. um, James Madison, they're undefeated. Also, they're 10-0. They beat UConn 44-6. They really need to go to a bowl game. I don't know why they can't go. I mean, that's just ridiculous. Um, Heck, you got Michigan being accused, and there's proof of them cheating, and there's still a chance they can go to the college football playoff. So I mean, hey, that's just my opinion. I'm a Michigan fan, even though I'm wearing Florida State because I'm gonna talk about them last. Tennessee got blown out by Missouri. You could tell that game was very personal. Last year, Tennessee blew them out too, in an effort to impress the college football playoff. I live in Florida, but I noticed how Tennessee got blown out like that. And I remember back to the game, and I noticed at the end of the game, the two coaches met to shake hands. Josh Heupel, he did, not Josh Heupel, but what's his name from Missouri? Whatever his name is. Didn't even want to shake his hand. I noticed that. He wasn't very nice to him. But I can understand him. Tennessee blew you out last year. Now you get the chance to return the favor. I'm not shaking his hand either. So, good win. Washington is concerning me a little bit too much. Because both Oregon, and Washington have now played the same Utah team in their house. Utah had no chance with Oregon from that start of that game. But yet with Washington, they got 28 points. I mean, I understand everybody makes halftime adjustments And I understand that sometimes some teams are better in the second half. I think Washington's one of those teams, but there's no way you're giving up 28 points. What are you going to give up if you play Oregon again? But things just happen. But I mean, 35 to 28, that's not really good. I mean, I thought they would blow out Utah because I thought they were that much better. And they're not. Ugh. I'll tell you one thing that they should look out for. Washington has to go to Oregon State next week, and I don't know about that. Good luck with that one. I want to talk about Florida State Miami a little bit. And I watched college game day, and I saw where Lee Corso was the only one that said Miami would lose this game, but it'd be close. They can beat Florida State because they always play good in Tallahassee. I noticed that too. I've been a Florida State fan. Here's the thing. I got teams from every conference. But Florida State is really the first team I started watching college football when I was a teenager. And I've been pulling for them since 2012. I think E.J. Manuel was still the quarterback. It was the year before they won the national championship with Jameis. I think they won the Orange Bowl that year. Then they won like 29 games in a row, whatever it was, before they got squashed by Oregon. But that's besides the point. This was a good win for Florida State. It really was. And you got to look at in the first half, they did give up 4 or 5 big runs. That's really all they gave up on the ground. Because I watched the game and then I watched highlights of the game over and over, and it kind of stuck to me like, okay, well, outside of those 4 or 5 runs and that one screen pass that their quarterback had, Miami really didn't do much offensively. The second half, they got shut down completely. And they had one big touchdown pass that was, let's be honest, it was lucky. Florida State's defense held them in check pretty much the whole game. And FSU's offense, people forget Miami's defense is pretty good this year. I think they have a top 15 or top 20 defense, but they get sacks. They're one of the better sacking teams in the country. So I wasn't surprised how Florida State's offense struggled in that game. So I don't see where Florida State's in danger of losing to somebody that they shouldn't lose to. They always do show up to play. And I think they showed up to play with Miami. They did. They didn't turn the ball over. So, I don't see – they didn't go for it on 4th down again when they didn't need to. Norvell fixed that problem. They punted the football clearly when they needed to. So that was really good coaching on their part. I just think they had the better team. And again, this is Florida State Miami. I think this is literally the only rivalry since 2000 where majority of the games are decided by 8 points or less. It doesn't matter who's ranked where, who's undefeated, who's not. Anybody can beat anybody in that game. That's just the way it is. And Miami owns the series right now, so credit to those boys on that. But since Norvell's taken over, Florida State has beaten them not 1, not 2, 3 times in a row. 3 times. So that's good. Oh my goodness. Oklahoma State got squashed by UCF. 45-3. Ugh. That's not good. No bueno. I don't even want to get into the stats in that game. Oregon State, good grief. They killed Stanford. 62-17. And his game's in Beaver Stadium with Washington, by the way. Free samples, what's up, man? Well, that's good to hear. Let's see. Georgia and Ole Miss. Look, again, I'm not too impressed with what Georgia did. Ole Miss's defense has been suspect for a long time now. And to be honest, I think if Alabama played Ole Miss now, they'd put up more than that. Because really, Jalen Milroe has grown since the beginning of the year. He has played a lot better. He still turns the ball over sometimes, but it's not as often anymore. And he's had so much more production throwing the football. He's learned to be more and what I like about him is not his running ability, because most quarterbacks nowadays in college that are good, they're athletic too. I love his patience and poise in the pocket. He's willing to stand there and wait a little while for his guys to get open before he actually throws the football. So I'm really impressed with Joe Milroe. I don't know about being in the Heisman conversation yet, but he's really good. So I'll give him that. I mean, I was wrong. I thought Tyler Buckner coming in. You can go back through my channel. I have a video talking about how I think Tyler Buckner will succeed at Alabama. I was wrong. Oh, hey, it is what it is. Well, Georgia, defensively, they're really good. But Bama's defense, also really good. And I think they have the defense to hold Georgia in check long enough to win it. Because there's the SEC championships in Atlanta, that's Georgia's house. I mean, that's Alabama's house. All their SEC championships, they won a national championship there against, guess who? Georgia. It's Bama's house, baby. And you know, Nick Saban, he's petty. He's petty about David Pollack telling him to his face how Georgia's the best program in the country now. You know, because Alabama missed the playoffs. They lost 2 games that last year. Well, it is what it is. Speaking of Alabama, Auburn. My boys from the SEC, they're bowl eligible. They won 48-10 over Arkansas. I hate to see that happen to Arkansas, but I'm glad Auburn didn't play around with them. They went ahead and took care of business. It was 21-3 in the first quarter. I said, yeah, Auburn showed up to play. They are now 6-3, and they're going to, 6-4, and they're going to a bowl game. I don't know if it's going to be a great bowl, but a bowl is a bowl. I missed not seeing them last year in a bowl game, but now they are. What else? Oklahoma 59. I told you, ooh, West Virginia. And I thought West Virginia had a chance to win that game. You know, I teach too, and I go to college, so I don't get a chance to really upload as much content as I would like. But it's I thought West Virginia had been playing good enough to beat somebody like Oklahoma, who was reeling for a while now. And no, not the case. Speaking of reeling, Texas. Man, I'll tell you what. Texas is not a playoff team. No. You are up 29-13 in the fourth quarter against a 4-5, now 4-6 TCU team, and you still let them come back and almost beat y'all. You can't do that. Texas has played with their food when it came to be honest, I feel like they played with their food with Oklahoma. I know they did it with Houston. They did it last week with Kansas State, and now they're doing it again. It's a pattern, you know, and really, if they mess around and do that with Texas Tech, that might cost them because you know who's had Texas's number also besides TCU? Texas Tech. They've managed to beat Texas a few times in the last several years. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if Texas lost that game. I don't see Texas going to the playoff playing like that, or at least making much noise. I don't know if the team gets complacent. I don't know if Sark doesn't know what he's doing. Another thing I don't like about Sark, he keeps going for a 4th down when he doesn't need to. Punt the ball. Like, what are you doing? Your defense is good, but lately, it has been suspect against the pass. Not playing good. Why? Because your offense doesn't know what it means to punt and make the other team work. And you turn the ball over. You have to kick field goals. What? Hey, that's my opinion. That worries me as a Texas fan. Florida went to LSU. Ooh, I shouldn't be surprised. I mean, Florida's offense has been okay this year. Not great, but pretty good, I guess. LSU hung up half 100 on them at home. Jaden Daniels is the first player in LSU history, first quarterback, to pass and run for 200-something yards in the same game. And with Florida's defense playing as bad as it's played, I'm not surprised. And Florida ain't making no bowl game this year. They're 5-5. They're going to lose to Florida State badly, and they'll probably – here's the thing. Unlike LSU, Florida State's got a defense, and they got a good offense too. Popcorn good, yummy. And I think they'll lose to Missouri too, but that's besides the point. Because they got to go over there to Missouri. Missouri's having a really good year. They're 8-2 now. They might win 10, 11 games this year. You know that? Might go to the Orange Bowl. That's good water. What else? Ohio State University. Ohio State University. 38-3 over Michigan State. Wow, that's so impressive. You beat them at home. You still found a way to give up points. Michigan went over there and beat them 50-0. So, congratulations. Duke for oh man, this Duke game was a thriller. That's a shame I missed it. North Carolina and Duke are really good teams. And here's the thing, North Carolina's defense isn't very good. Apparently Duke's isn't neither. They gave up 47 to North Carolina. Woohoo. I'm just kidding. Of course Duke has a good defense, but since their offense isn't very good, that makes you put your defense out there more. And because North Carolina's offense is already explosive, they'll be able to take advantage of a inevitably fatigued defense at some point. And that's what they did. USC, Oregon, not too surprised. I did pick USC on here. I thought their offense wouldn't get stopped, but they lost 36-27 to Oregon. Not a bad loss. Everyone on College Game Day said they'd get blown out, so I guess it's not a bad loss. But that is what it is. Any games on here that really stand out to me? Not really, but I will say I think Florida State is the team that's going to win everything this year. Here's the thing. Their defense has been known to give a few small, big plays here and there every now and then all year. Second half, they always shut it down. You can ask LSU the same thing. The only team to blow them out this year. And FSU's offense is just so explosive. And again, the Miami game is a rivalry. Miami is 10 times better than what they were a year ago. And that defense is nothing to play with. I bet you Louisville will have problems with that same defense next week. I know I said it, but still. Because Louisville's offense, very turnover prone. So, I do think Florida State is that team. They got the easiest path to the playoff out of everybody else, obviously. North Alabama, stop and beat the Gators, take their bowl eligibility. And then they'll play Louisville in the ACC championship. And I don't think Louisville's going to be in the top 10. I think Miami's going to give them an upset. Because remember, Miami has now played an elite team. They played with them pretty well. Again, I'm not saying they manhandled Miami. Miami is Miami. They're not a terrible team. I'm not going to put the U down. I'm going to leave it like that out of respect. Miami, that's the reason why I didn't make a reaction like yesterday. I made one back-to-back years. Florida State came back and beat them 2 years ago. Last year, they blew them out. I made fun of Miami. I ain't doing that this year. Nah, Miami's earned my respect in the rivalry. They're good. They're not a great team. They're an okay team that's capable of being great if they play a great team or a good team that doesn't play good, if that makes sense. So, yeah, hats off to Miami. They're going to a bowl. And they'll be a lot better next year. But, teams that won and look, I'm not going to do it on here, but, yeah, that's pretty much it. Hopefully, I get a chance to do this again next week. And that's basically it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And I'll be doing this every Sunday morning. Bye-bye.